Hey listeners, we're back. It's another episode of your favorite podcast, LFG with Amir and Friends. Today I've got a really special guest and a personal friend of mine as well, Steve Hayes, DJ Purple. He's a really well-known KJ in the Bay Area if you guys are from around here. He has a really special type of karaoke show that is no slow songs. So if you play slow songs there, you're not going to last very long, I'm going to tell you. Let's cut to the chase. Steve, let's take it away.
Well, third grade, the gymnasium, they brought the instruments in to see if kids were interested in music, and they brought a saxophone. I was like, yeah, that's the one. But it was too expensive, and they said you should start on clarinet anyway, so I had to start on clarinet. But then, sixth grade, after 3 hard years of learning clarinet, my uncle let me use his saxophone, and I finally got to learn saxophone. And let's see, fast forward. I don't know, so I played in rock and roll bands in high school. That's probably where the fun started. The jazz before that. But then, karaoke kind of came as a surprise. I mean, I was playing in bands in college, and after college, I kept trying to keep bands going, but it got harder and harder to keep people together, keep a group together. And I
Wait. To clarify the surprise, a pleasant surprise or an oopsie surprise?
It was kind of an oopsie.
Oh gosh.
Because I had a band, and then I had a drum machine, and so because we couldn't find a drummer, so it was like I had a bass player and me and the drum machine. And then the bass player quit, and it was just me and the drum machine. And I started recording tracks. And thinking back on it, it was a little bit like kind of early karaoke, where I was singing and playing guitar or keyboards, and I was recording all the other tracks, just like a karaoke track.
Oh, okay.
And I was having some success with that, kind of playing as a one-man band. But then I needed to take breaks when I was doing these performances, so I started collecting really great music to play for breaks. And as I was playing my music for breaks one time at a gig with 5 other bands, somebody came up to me and said, "Wow, I love this music you're playing in between all the live bands. You're a great DJ. I want to hire you to be my DJ." So that, short story is that led to the original DJ Purple as an actual DJ.
And what caused you to pick the moniker Purple? What was the origin of that?
That goes back to my first band in high school, where I was like a freshman or sophomore, and these juniors and seniors had a band that rehearsed at lunchtime, and I would go and sit outside the door, kind of watching them at lunchtime, and eventually they saw me with my saxophone and like invited me to come in and join, and they kind of they thought I was pretty good, so they let me join the band. And
it's like when the cool kids realize you're a cool kid too.
Exactly. And John Podiatis, the band leader, one day said to me, "Hey, his last name is Hayes. Let's call him Purple. Purple Haze."
Oh, there we go. Okay. Haha, Purple Haze. I figured it probably had to do with that.
The next phase of that was when I started just DJing. I tried out a bunch of different DJ names. And one time still had the nickname Purple, but I tried the name DJ Purple on a flyer. And there was this one pivotal moment when I was setting up or something, and somebody at the bar picked up the flyer and looked at it and just yelled out, echoing throughout the room, "DJ Purple!" And I was like, what could cause somebody to have this passionate reaction just to a name? It's like, maybe this is the one. So I stuck with it.
Nice. Yeah, that sounds like, honestly, I've heard the same thing with some names. Like they just carry that oomph, like that pizzazz factor that people get drawn to. And a color also probably plays into it too.
Yeah,
it's like it's a cool color that both genders I think can relate to pretty well.
Royalty.
So yeah, royalty, exactly. So okay, cool. That's a great start.
That
actually,
doesn't get you to karaoke.
It doesn't yet. No. So I want to know, you went to Stanford, right?
Oh yeah.
And how did Stanford play into all of this? Did it at all play into this?
Well, that's where I got my first. Well, not my first real substantial rock and roll success. I had a band called the Altar Boys, and we were like the thing, the trend, the hit, the popular thing on campus. And the funny thing there was I was kind of playing the same role. I feel like I'm still playing the same role I did there. We had a vocalist who he had a incredible personality and stage presence, had some trouble with his range on being able to hit some of the high notes and stuff. But we were all backing him up, and he put on a great show. I mean, he was. I feel like he was like the number one reason that we were such a hit, because most bands, everybody was like trying to be cool and just playing it low key, and he was like out there like Mick Jagger in the crowd, and it was the music too. We were good musicians.
But yeah, without that performer, like it's hard sometimes to get attention. I mean, we see it even with like bands today. Like some of them, like some go the low key route and they're successful. Key example, Adele, I think she's very good at that, the low key route. But whereas you have like Pink that goes the opposite.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, but she's still a fantastic vocalist. Though you can't be, I think, at that level a good performer without having the vocals. But you have to have a little bit of both.
That's where karaoke comes in.
Yeah, but you can in karaoke, I agree. So yeah, I'm definitely on board with that. Cool. So that also covers a little bit of Stanford. You talked about what led up to the Purple name. So what? I know you also come from. You lived in Ohio, right? Like,
actually, New Jersey. My parents moved to
Ohio. Okay, they moved to Ohio. Okay, but you lived in New Jersey. How was that? Like, what was it like coming from New Jersey to California then? And maybe the music, also the difference from there to here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I sort of had the suburban California dream, like, oh, California is like where all the microphones are. No, all the like rock and roll, all the excitement, and all the beaches and sunshine, and just seemed like I always liked sunshine and beaches. So kind of California just kind of drew me that way. Nice,
but we do know now finally a little about you from New Jersey, also with the pictures that we saw with you and Debbie, and and a little bit of your humble beginnings. So that's good. So you got sort of then the moniker of DJ Purple, like have the background now. Like what really like solidified for you that this is the route I want to go now at this point? Like that I'm full scale.
Yeah, that was a transition, because like I mean I was still, even when I was DJing the first few years, I still felt like, well, I'm doing this and I'm getting paid for it, but I'm a musician, not a DJ. The other factor is that's where the edge came in, where Monique and I kind of have that common background. I started going, as I was working in a bookstore, I started going to dance clubs, one dance club called The Edge in Palo Alto, and that's where I kind of, as a musician, kind of finally started to get the mindset of what is the deal with DJs, and why is everybody so excited about DJs, and why are bands dying? Not getting the jobs, and DJs are getting the jobs. Just that variety of music and the sound systems and just all that stuff.
Who were some of the KJs that inspired you? Like the ones that you would go to, or
this was before I even discovered karaoke.
Okay, so what about like some of the DJs maybe that caught your attention?
It was the ones at the edge. That I mean, Bernard Cabagon and Steve. Oh my gosh, it's escaped me. Bernard and Francis were the two of. And Steve were the three DJs there. I wrote a thank you note to Bernard actually a few years ago, saying, man, everything I'm doing in karaoke now is based on a lot of what I learned from him about like kind of shaping the energy in a room. And
so is that why now you have the no slow songs, is because you started at the club atmosphere with
it's like
okay.
Well, but even before that, actually, even back in the Altar Boys, we were all on the same page. That was the other difference between us and the other bands. Like we were all on the same page. We want people dancing. We did an early gig where people were like sitting down and clapping for us, and we were just like so dissatisfied there. Like just not the same if people aren't. Just feels like it's like my mission in life or something is to like, I want people to get up and move and dance.
That's cool. Yeah, if for those that aren't familiar with the show, it's a very high intensity, very much like you're probably going to be dancing at some point during it. I'd be surprised if you don't dance at some point during it. If you don't, you probably don't have a dancing bone in your body then at that point. I think that actually gives a really good intro into you as a KJ, what has led in terms of what musical tastes have led to like your choices for like the songs you choose in your book, like that, as I was kind of hinting at, also what other KJs maybe got your attention, like that you took things from them and incorporated into your show, like things like that I think would be really useful also to just know a little bit about.
Yeah, well, there's two things. I mean, when I first discovered karaoke, it was in Menlo Park, the British Bankers Club, with this KJ named Anthony, who kind of had that same attitude that I've been describing, like just whatever it takes to get people energized and enthusiastic and in a party mood, dancing. So he actually did the similar concept of like got rid of all the slow songs. And when it comes to musical taste or preference, I mean, I really only pretty much only base it on how do people react. Like it can be opera or it could be classical, whatever. It doesn't matter what it is. It's like how do people respond. I mean, they say your DJ sense of reading the room, like, over time I've gotten pretty good at predicting how people will respond based on years and years and decades of experience. But sometimes I'm still learning. Like, whoa, I didn't think people would respond to this one, but they do.
And then, so I guess a natural question going off that is how did you land your first gig? I'm sure a lot of people are, that are aspiring to become KJs or, or have thought about it. Like, that's a big factor, I know, is like, how do you get that first opportunity? So, do you think you can touch upon that a little bit?
Well, as I mentioned, what led to my first gig as a DJ was somebody hearing what I did and wanting to hire me for their party. And that was sort of the foot in the door. And then I had a gig at a club that led to another DJ gig at a related club where the owners were married. And then at that club that's about the time when I discovered karaoke and wanted to try it myself. And so, basically I was DJing there on Friday and Saturday nights, B Street Billiards in San Mateo, and asked if I could do a Wednesday night karaoke show there. And they were like, yeah, you established your reliability and
And what was that like, the transition from doing a regular show to then doing a karaoke show? Like, because I'm sure there were some things that you had to account for, and how am I going to set up the room, like all these things.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't have huge budget or whatever money to spend, but so I started out, modestly, but I generally always invested in, basically at least minimum professional level stuff. It's going to be not cheap toys that are going to break quickly and have to buy again. So it's like they say, buy once, cry once.
Buy once, cry once. I like that.
So I don't think I had wireless mics in the very beginning. I'm thinking I probably had the Shure SM58s, which are,
What system did you use when you started? Did you do the same thing, or did you use like?
That was on CDGs back then.
Okay.
So you had to buy a $25 disc, and sometimes you'd get like one or two songs that you wanted. But they had collections as well, with like just standard songs, and just gradually built it up from there over the last. Things were a lot more expensive then.
I bet. Yeah, everything's now a lot more available.
Carafun
Yeah, you can just use Carafun, or I see a lot of KJs that even some of them, just I hate to say it, but go the YouTube route. That's kind of a little bit more janky, like because like it's arguably pirating, but we can get into that later. Anyways, that I think is a good wrap up actually for the first segment. I think we got a really good intro to who DJ Purple is, and what he's about. If you haven't checked out his show, I think definitely you guys should consider it, and we'll post links and stuff. We're gonna talk more about the actual show in the next part. So please stay tuned, and we'll catch you after the 5-minute break. All right, everybody, see ya.
Welcome to DJ Purple Dance Karaoke. This is not ordinary karaoke. This is dance karaoke. Dance karaoke means high energy, awesome, intelligent stage lighting, and pyrotechnic-like special effects. which make you feel like you're the star of a real concert. When DJ Purple brings out his trademark live saxophone on an instrumental break, you'll feel like you've got a real band backing you up. When we say high energy, we mean continuous high energy instead of that pause and drop in momentum after every song that you'll be experiencing at an ordinary karaoke show. We mix directly from one singer to the next like a DJ. So your party's energy stays high and the excitement builds with every song and singer. The final ingredient of high energy is the songbook. With ordinary karaoke, one single guess picking the wrong, sad, slow song can literally kill your entire party. Each and every one of the thousands of songs in our dance karaoke songbook has been carefully curated to be lively and upbeat, designed to get everyone dancing while you sing. DJ Purple. DJ
Purple, let's now talk about where your show started.
Yeah, well, like I said, I got that very first show down in San Mateo at B Street Billiards, and really just learning the ropes there. And over the next probably couple of years, got various different shows, San Francisco, up and down the peninsula. And as you said about that struggle, it's like all the shows had their good moments and their lots of not so good moments. And
Yeah, it's okay. We're a show that allows swearing here, so you can feel free to drop an F-bomb if you need to.
That's not me. But yes, I was mentioning earlier that there was sort of this turning point when I got this show at Jack's in the Mission, San Francisco. Lionel Chartrand actually gave me the show because he was moving on to something else, and he had kind of just gotten a buzz going there. He'd started getting a little bit of a crowd, and that was back in, I think 2007. And it was when people could still afford to live in San Francisco, like people like us. And there were a lot in the Mission especially, that was like the lowest rent, and there was a lot of like young people and a lot of creative people, when you could still afford to be creative in San Francisco.
This is definitely pre-pandemic for sure.
Yeah. So all these people really were focused in the Mission because that was where the lowest rent was. So this show at Jack's, right by the hospital, 24th and was it Portrero? The buzz and my show with I think I don't remember if I had the fog machines at that point or what it was. It was the saxophone, I guess, at that point that was the main. The saxophone has always been kind of the main thing that people latch on to. It's like, oh, it's the saxophone guy, or it's the saxophone karaoke, but people started coming, and the fact that Jack's was really small. It was like you could have those lower moments. You had like 10 people in there, and it still felt like a party, like the place was full. But most of the time it would be like packed, people hanging outside. And so for several years there, that's really the first show I had that really got that kind of excitement and buzz. And got articles written about me. That also led to the Singin' and Pingin' shows, where Alan Huff organized these huge ping pong parties.
Oh, that's what pinging means. Okay, I was like, what is
Singin' and Pingin'.
I was like, what is pinging in this guy? Like pinging hospital or something? Yeah, you're right. Song and pong sounds a lot worse, so I get it.
So yeah, he was getting like hundreds of people to these communal ping pong. It's not just regular ping pong. People stand around in a circle around the table, and you take one shot and then step aside, and the next person will step in and take the next shot.
Wow, that sounds really confusing, to say the least.
If you miss your shot, you're out of the circle until it's like 3 people running around like crazy.
Oh wow, so musical chairs of ping pong, essentially. Okay, cool.
But for several years, these were really popular. These were a thing. And he loved my karaoke. We combined to create Singin' and Pingin'. And so, while you're waiting your turn to sing, you were pinging.
And if somebody like committed a karaoke error on stage, they did something bad, did somebody hit the ball at them or something,
Sure,
that'd be a version of singing and pinging too. Like
Ponged off stage.
Yeah, ponged
Not
off
ponged.
stage, exactly. Yeah, well, on a serious note, they're going back to a
Okay.
little more serious, so Jax, that
Yes,
was
that
there.
was the
Then,
kind of
so
the
what was the
takeoff.
next one after Jax? Then was it what like do
That
we
was the
fast forward
makeout
to?
room. That was
Okay.
the biggest show regular venue I had at that point. But then fast forwarding a few years, the Slate was kind of the transplant of when Jax kind of shut down. We moved over to Slate, and we were kind of thinking, oh, we're on fire. We're going to a bigger place. It's going to be the same as Jax, even better. But it was actually kind of a like, whoa, let's hit the brakes here. That was right when the rents were going up and up. People were moving out of San Francisco. It was at the other end of the Mission.
Closer to
It
16th
was
Street
kind of
Bar. Yeah,
kind of like starting over. So it's been kind of a struggle. It's like that's why having Monique on the job really helps.
Yeah,
Because we
I mean,
could just count on word of mouth back at Jack's, whereas Slate, it's just not quite as central a foot traffic kind of location.
right, yeah. I mean, honestly, Slade in a lot of ways easier for people, I think, coming from the peninsula.
Yeah.
But for inner city people, it's actually harder to get to because the only real way is like to get to that, like you said, the end of Mission near 16th, or you take the BART. But I mean, most people don't want to take to 16th Street BART and then go back at night on Mutiny. Like, let's be real here.
Right.
And most people don't. Like, I think just especially now, I think. But But so I know you had Slade. Then I know for a while because I met you at Vinyl Room when you were in
right.
Burlingame in 2015. How long were you at Vinyl Room?
And that was sort of a vacation interlude phase, because actually right around the same time I started at Slate, no, even Jack's actually, because I started in Palo Alto on Wednesdays, and that's what kind of led to eventually to the Vinyl Room, because I started like 17 years ago on Wednesdays in Palo Alto and moved around various places, but for a while I was out of there, and that's where the Vinyl Room came.
Yeah, because I know you split your time between SF and the Peninsula. So
Yeah.
I'm curious in terms of how you went about orchestrating the shows in those different areas, because it must be different approaching those different areas. Because I know SF is like a lot harder to park overall.
Oh, yeah.
Like people move around a lot more walking. Peninsula kind of opposite. I've noticed people tend to like drive everywhere, or they like take transit, so they all come like in large blobs, like it feels like, and then not as much foot traffic, but that's not the case in Palo Alto though. I know Palo Alto is more like SF in the sense that you can get a lot of foot traffic at times. Sometimes, yeah.
It was better before the pandemic.
Yeah, but yeah, going off that though now, I'm actually curious now to bring Monique into it, into the aspect of promoting the shows and how that happens, and getting word of mouth out, because I know that's a big factor in it, and especially post-pandemic, I know that's a big factor. So Mo, I'm gonna put you now into this picture.
As you know, DJ Purple is on at Tupelo Tuesdays, and in the city, and then he's in Palo Alto at the Patio on Wednesdays, and then Thursdays he's at Slate, which we just talked about, and I'm their social media coordinator currently. So it's a great place. I absolutely love the place. And I've loved karaoke. You and I met at the Vinyl Room, right? So yay! So even if I wasn't his girlfriend, I'd be doing. Even if I wasn't his girlfriend, I'd be doing the same thing where I'd be like promoting really hard as I could. Pre-pandemic, it was a lot of meetup, and people were just using meetup a lot. That was just an easy medium for people to kind of get together, and we didn't feel totally committed to like meetup. But I think karaoke people were just one of the friendliest kind of people, down to earth kind of people you could ever meet. We just like take you in, and we like treat you like that's our kid up there. Be quiet while our friend sings, and we're gonna clap as loud as we can, and like encourage you to just like feel your vibes and take over the room. So with Slade, I'm not only like totally in love with karaoke, but being in love with DJ Purple, which is a little weird saying it like that. But but I mean, like every time I'm promoting something, usually it's somebody I know or maybe it's somebody new that I've never met, and I'm just loving making these videos of these amazing people just totally spilling their hearts out while they sing at his shows. It's fun. It's easy.
Yeah, and I know you finally got to come back to the game a little bit.
Yeah.
One of the private parties we had. So that was really nice. But going back to the promotion aspect though, how did you pick up the skills, to promote, to do the marketing and stuff? Like, was it learned a lot through YouTube? Like, how did you, like, for people that are aspiring to, that want to learn those type of things, and take their show to the next level, what would you recommend?
Well, I started as a Pilates coordinator pre-pandemic, and I decided to take upon myself to start social media platforms for my department because our studio was hidden. So same thing with Slate. Slate is kind of a hidden gem, and when you have a hidden gem, it needs to shine and you need to put the word out. So I had kind of picked up some ideas from being a Pilates coordinator, but it's totally different ball game when you're working in nightlife, and I'm kind of finding that you're working with a lot of chefs in the kitchen and they're cooking their own meals at their own time. So I'm picking up things as I go, with each artist. So it's not just DJ Purple's show that we'll be promoting. We just promoted Tumbao.
Oh, okay.
I loved that.
Well, what is that? If you can give us a little bit of a taste.
Timba is música cubana, so we just had DJ Juan Love put on a show yesterday, and it looked really successful. Little things like that. We have live music, we have comedy shows, things like that. And then when you kind of go back to DJ Purple on Thursdays at Slate, we're just kind of collecting our audience from wherever we can. So we're on the TikToks and the YouTubeals, and well, we're not on the YouTubeals. We're on Facebook and Instagram and stuff like that. But we're also putting the word out in other platforms because not everybody's on social media like that. They just want to go online and look at what's going on this weekend or this week.
Right.
So you'll find us on Do the Bay and SF Station and All Events In and stuff like that.
Nice. Okay. Cool.
Yeah.
That's really cool, actually, to get that insight into that. I think that's very useful to just learn a little more about that. So people that are curious and want to learn more, reach out to Momo about it. Not me. I'm not the one to reach out to regarding that. Hire her, exactly. She's good at it. I forgot who it was that asked you, Steve, regarding it, like from the group about starting ZOOMAROKE, and then I know that you were like thinking about it for a while, and you're like, okay, I'm gonna take the plunge here and try to figure this out and see what we can do. So can you touch upon that a little bit? What led to that?
Yeah, I remember, first of all, with the pandemic, just being totally surprised because I've been thinking in years before that about just job security and thinking I think I've got the best job security possible. Like singing and dancing are like such ancient activities that they will never go away. And then here comes the pandemic and nope, no singing, no dancing.
Yep. keep that distance. Keep the distance. Put on the mask.
Don't breathe on anybody else.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my gosh, it actually happened. My job security has been threatened. The pandemic started, and at first, right at the very beginning, it's like, okay, well, maybe this will just be over really quick and we'll get back to work. But in the meantime, not having my jobs to do, and with that possibility that maybe this will go on for a while, and as I grew stronger, I just started, my mind couldn't stop thinking about what could we do online? How could this work? And as soon as my mind grab or sees a problem like that to be solved, it's like, I'm trying to go to sleep, and it's like, what if you synchronize the music with the vocals?
That's that Stanford brain going to work right there. Yep.
And obviously, lots of other people were thinking the same thing, and so there was lots of discussion about I mean, you know, the immediate, well, let's just try it. Let's go on Zoom and sing and see what happens. And oh, this is awful.
Yeah, it was, yeah, because like for those that didn't try it, it's because like the audio doesn't sync well on Zoom. Like, you know, there's always latency errors sometimes. Like there's people that they're not as familiar with like how to turn on the mic and stuff in Zoom, and you know, turn off what was the speaker audio, I think it was, or whichever one that it is that catches everybody off guard on Zoom. So
original sound.
Yeah, original sound. There we go. That's the one I was thinking of. And like, there's just whole different ball game trying to do it online. I remember even for me, it was like, okay, once I get it, great. But even after I took a break from it and came back, I was like, oh no, I made another error with Twitch.
Yeah. So it was. I mean, it was a pretty exciting year. That year, figuring out how to do it, how to make it better and better, what worked and what didn't work with like the video. Like first I was trying to create like a stage, a video stage in one of the windows so that people could come on stage and have a backdrop. And
yeah, and bear in mind, everybody, this is from his place, like his own residence. He's putting this out. So this isn't like, you know, professional like studio, like where he's got everything already like in place, or like, you know, it's already preset and everything. He's having to do this on the fly. Like, you know, even hours before, it's still on the fly. So it's a lot of work that goes into it. Like,
yeah, but once I figured out the basic idea of separating people's voices from the music and isolating that, and then having them send that to me separate from the main Zoom session, and then mixing it with the music again in my mixer, everything else from that that was like the foundation, and everything else was like details. Like, okay, how can we make it smoother, make it sound better, make it, you know, tweaking it, and then actually doing it live and have it not take too much time in between songs. And
so like, what would you, after doing that, what advice would you give to people that are trying to maybe do it online? Like even now, today, like that want to take the online route.
It seems that over all those several years of the pandemic, only a few people. I mean, I told pretty much everybody how I was doing it, and you know, lots and lots of people were saying, "Wow, this sounds so much better than everybody else doing karaoke online." But the people that actually took the time to like listen and think and ask me the question about like, well, how could I do this? I think only one, Bill in Florida, was I think the only one that actually kind of recreated the system and did it successfully like once. But basically everybody just said that's too much work. I can't. I don't want to do that.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, there were some others that were all right too online. Like I can think of a few. Like Dana's is pretty good online. Like she does a pretty good job, but she uses I think a different site that does some of the work for her. I forgot how she does it exactly, but it's a little different than the way that you do it. And she goes through, I think she went through Discord at one point, and then I don't know if now, and like Jan also was using Discord for Germany's, which is a whole nother thing also actually that I want to mention, is that DJ Purple's show is one of the only ones to get international people to work through Zoom. No, but with that sound quality. Yeah. With that sound quality, with synchronization, it's one thing to get them to sound, you know, half decent, but it sounded like seamless. Yeah. The one time that you got it with the people from Germany, so
that's one time.
Yeah, well, yeah, but the first time is what I mean. Yeah. You know, you can't.
And the first
time had all the magic, and then it was like, okay, now it's sort of like, okay, it's cool, but it's not like the first time. You know, it's only the first time that like wows everybody. Like, we're like, oh my god, he's a wizard, Harry. I think that's actually a good point there to take our second studio break right now, everybody. I think you got a nice taste in terms of like how DJ Purple handled things during the pandemic, and you know, got to see also a little bit of how the social media marketing works with Monique, and that's definitely a critical aspect. And so we'll take a short break, and the last segment's going to be more about learning about DJ Purple as a person, rather than just the KJ. So we'll be back shortly. All right, guys, stay tuned.
DJ Purple offers the most intensive, audio routed, special effect laden ZOOMAROKE experience in the Bay Area. What is ZOOMAROKE? It's the best sounding online karaoke party ever. Learn more about booking your own ZOOMAROKE party by visiting djpurple.com.
Hey, listeners, we're back from the second studio break, and we've got DJ Purple still here with us, along with Momo as well. And as I said before, the purpose of this segment is to really get into what DJ Purple's like outside of his show, you know, like how he's like as a person. Here we go, let's give it to Steve, and Steve, take it away for us. Like what give us an example of some of the hobbies maybe first that you have outside of karaoke. Like what do you like to do? Like do you like to hike, things like that? Do you like to go watch movies?
I think Amir, my main reaction is just I don't have any hobbies. Karaoke is like kind of, I mean, one of the things that probably most people don't know is that one of the things that you may not notice about my show is that like the songs are sort of, there's all sorts of subtle little details that are fixed or different or better. One thing is like spelling errors. I mean, I know it's glamorous, but like you or just wrong words. Like so. Anyway, there's a lot of work I put into fixing things, and it's a quirky kind of fun. It's like if I need to kind of blow off steam or just relax or just calm down, I'll go work on a song. And that's kind of my outlet.
But I know you spend time with your daughter too.
Yeah,
you know,
that's probably the other kind of big kind of section of my life is like being a father, raising my daughter. And
any fun trips you two have gone on recently?
Our main trips go down to Southern California to see her best friends that she grew up with, grew up in early school, and then moved away. And so that's kind of our excuse to make a road trip and get down to Southern California.
Cool.
And we also go back to visit my folks in Ohio.
In Ohio, right? Yeah. Nice. That's cool. That's cool. What about in terms of what about musical interest? Like, where does your main music like loyalty lie? like let's dig into it here a little bit.
I could probably safely say rock and roll. I mean, that's my roots. Like growing up.
Favorite song? Be quick about it too.
I've got two. Been Caught Stealin' by James Dixon.
Okay.
And Won't Get Fooled Again by The Who.
Oh, okay. I know the second one. The first one I'm not familiar with. Yeah.
You're a 90s child.
Well,
Jane's
sorry.
Addiction?
I know Jane's Addiction, but I'm not super. I wasn't
this
super
is
into
number
it.
one.
Yeah, I know. I wasn't super into it, so
okay.
I know the second one though, so at least I get 1 out of 2 there. Cool.
The reason I latched on to James, to Ben Caught Stealing in particular, was it was right at the time when hip hop was kind of like taking over rock in terms of popular music in the late 90s, I guess, somewhere around there. It was like the tide was really kind of shifting, and the fact that rock bands were starting to use hip hop beats in their music, that I felt like that song for me really encapsulated the energy of rock and roll with at least the funkiness of hip hop.
That makes sense, definitely. I mean, there's been different, surges and trends in music that I've seen also that's impacted some of the other karaoke shows too, in terms of what a lot of people do. Like the one that I can't stand right now, for example, that people tend to go to constantly is like all the Taylor Swift songs. Oh my God, I love Taylor and she's talented, but it's like, come on, like every other song feels like now Taylor Swift on karaoke. I'm like,
I think, were you at one of those nights at the patio not too long ago?
I even participated in that because I was like, okay, if you can't beat them, you gotta join them at that point. Like, it was like that kind of mentality at that point. I did the one that the Never Gonna Get Back Together. Yeah, I did that as a joke that time. And then what else and then I think I was gonna do Trouble, but I wait, no, I Knew You Were Trouble.
Yeah.
I Knew You Were Trouble, I think is the name of the song then. But like
Katie usually does that one.
Oh, you're talking about Katy, like, I think like Katy Perry. I was like getting all confused in my head. I'm like, Katy? Like, which Katy are you talking about? Like, I thought we were talking about celebrities here, not like normal people.
Local celebrities.
Yeah, local celebrities.
Karaoke celebrities.
All right, fair enough. That's true. So Mo, let's bring you into this, Mo, now a little bit. Like,
right.
Yeah, I want to actually hear the story of how you met Mo and how that kind of
okay,
the purple
yeah.
pint-sized pervs.
Okay, yeah, we can talk about that a little bit here. I think, well, for the listeners to know, Mo and I met at the Vinyl Room in 2015. It was actually her birthday that night. It was a birthday party, and Brian had set it up, I think, on Meetup. Meetup's still around, surprisingly. I thought it would have died by now.
Right.
And how did she become known as your karaoke mom?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That stemmed from the fact that she was actually the one to pull me in to get up on stage the first time. Yeah, at your show. And because I was like super scared and like didn't know what I was doing. And then the first song I did was Come On Eileen.
Yes.
At that time, and like it went pretty well. Like, I was nervous obviously, but it went well. So and everybody was super supportive. So I'm like, okay.
That's got actually a lot of hard lyrics in the verses, the timing.
But I knew it really pretty well. That's
Wow.
why I chose it, because one of the songs that I know pretty well. Like, if I can't read the lyrics well, I know it by like my head pretty well, like what the lyrics are. So I was like, okay, I'll choose something that at least like if I mess up, I can catch up on again. Like, that's a note to people that are new to singing, like, and are nervous about it. Like, sometimes it's easier if you start with something you know pretty well, because if you stumble, you can catch on to where it's leading. Like, come back into it. Like, granted, your show's a little harder because sometimes the songs are faster and you even speed them up more. So I'm like, I'm stuck. I don't know where I am right now in this dance remix of All of Me.
Yeah. That's a good one.
Like, for example. But yeah, Mo, let's get you into the conversation.
I mean, going back to the nerdiness of karaoke-ness, like, Steve one time showed me literally what he does to chill out when, with each song. How, you're up there and you're stressing and you want to do a good job, or maybe you just want to just relax and have a good time and sing. He's adjusting, like, by the millisecond, like, words over so that it's easier for you to sing. So
your cues.
Yeah, your cues. And while you're on stage, he's adjusting for your voice. So if you have a soft voice, he's adjusting it. If you have a gravelly voice, he's adjusting it and doing little things to make you sound like a rock star. Now, beyond that, like, I don't know, we're pretty mellow, cool cats. We do we're old. I mean, we just go. Well, I am, but I mean, we like go out to, have lunch or whatever. We could be more social with our friends, actually. My sister was telling me that is my homework. She wants me to be more social with all our friends.
I'm sure you're not the only one. I'm sure people out there can relate to this.
Yeah, so, that's our homework, actually, to be a little more interesting. We've done fun stuff like badminton and stuff, which I'm awful at. But, do we do volleyball too? We've done volleyball, I thought. And yeah, okay, maybe it was your daughter.
So here's a question for you, Mo. If you were to describe Steve in 3 words, what's the 3 words that you would pop off the top of your head?
Ooh, yes. So it'd have to be purple, cool, and lovely.
Okay.
Cool
nice.
and lovely.
You heard it there first.
Yes.
Okay.
I concur with this. I absolutely put my stamp on that message. Just a really cool, calm, lovely human being. And I knew that when you and I met. I think that was when I was diagnosed with breast cancer at the time. So I just got diagnosed because it was super weird. I just started karaokeing, and then it was like bingo.
Oh yeah.
It was.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah.
It was, and then we got introduced to DJ Purple to Steve's shows. Feels so weird talking about you like that. But anyways, and I just fell in love with it, and I used it as my therapy, really.
Yeah, I mean that's another aspect that
Mm-hmm.
we could get into for a long time, is how people utilize karaoke and like what it means to different people, at different stages. Listeners, stay tuned. We're gonna do our last favorite segment, which is a surprise for Steve what it is. All right, we'll see you soon.
DJ Purple offers special private event booking. If you're interested in having a DJ host a karaoke extravaganza for your party or business event or even team building activity for your local business, DJ Purple offers you the ultimate opportunity to have your own private party. You can request a songbook in advance and have an entire perfectly curated, finely manicured selection of songs for your ultimate party get on. DJ Purple. Book at djpurple.com. DJ
All right, we are back from the last studio break for the day. This is going to be your favorite part of the podcast, Fucked Up Flashcards. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time for Fucked Up Flashcards. All right, Steve. So, would you rather get bit by a snake or kicked by a gorilla?
Snake.
All right, you're gonna get kicked by a gorilla in the balls 10 times. All right. Next question. Would you rather have somebody sing "Sweet Caroline" 10 times in a row at your karaoke show, or would you rather have that they bang your mic once on the floor?
How hard?
That's a good question. Okay. Let's say medium level.
Medium level, yeah.
Oh, okay, fine. They're gonna sing 100 times "Sweet Caroline" not at your show. Okay, so all right. So next question. Would you rather be stranded on an island with only Olivia there, or would you rather be on a 24-hour car trip with Monique?
Oh wow. Olivia.
Olivia? Oh, all right.
Desert island. That sounds cool.
All right. You're gonna be now in 48 hours with Monique in the car.
Okay. I might be ripe after the 24th hour.
All right. Okay. Next question. You either get to get a signature, get an autograph from Mick Jagger, or get an autograph from Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga.
Lady Gaga? Okay, fine. All right, you get an autograph from neither now. All right, all right, let's go. All right, that's why they're called fucked up flashcards. Okay.
Excellent.
All right, next one. Next one. You never get. It's either you never get to sing at your karaoke show ever again, or everybody gets to play your sax once at every karaoke show from now on.
They can play.
They can play? Okay. All right, that was the right answer this time. So no consequence for that answer. That was the correct one to choose. All right, and that's it for your favorite section, Fucked Up Flashcards. And as you saw, Steve got the hang of it at the end finally. So there we go. Yes, even he's confused. That's why it's called Fucked Up Flashcards. All right, Steve. And with that, we're gonna give you a few minutes to do some shout outs to people that you want to, that maybe don't get as much exposure and do behind the scenes stuff for you or have, influenced you to get to where you're at. So feel free to take it away. And, you got 3 minutes to go through whoever you want.
Wow. Well, it's a long list of gratitude. I'll start with Monique. Thank you, Monique.
Oh, you're
For
welcome.
the support.
Oh, thank you.
And have to put top of the list my family. That's friend Farah was asking about what does it take to start a business, and I swear having the support of your family just makes so much difference. You
Yeah.
Try things out and go out on that limb. But almost equal. Everybody's equal in my gratitude. But the singers, my fans, singers, friends. The show would not exist without the stars of the show.
Yeah, of course.
You folks are the stars of the show.
And any particular people you want to shout out in terms of like the bars that you've been at or any of the venues?
Well, yes, the venues, that's the other thing. The other big pillar of what supports everything happening. The Slate, Tupelo, Patio, all the venues I've been at. But Tupelo stands out lately. I mean, having Teague Kernan, the owner of Tupelo, is a musician himself. Been so supportive to the musical community and working so hard to keep the venue going. And speaking of Patty, also worked really hard to keep the venue going. And, but when you mentioned like people at the shows, the first person came to mind was Rapper John.
Good old Rapper John. Rapper John, if you're out there and you happen to watch, please, once you feel comfortable, come on back out. We all miss you.
Yes, we all miss Rapper John.
Well, with that, Steve, we're gonna call it a show. I think
It's a show.
It's a show, exactly. It's been really good to have you on a serious note.
Thanks,
Really appreciated learning more just about, your show and about also you as a person, before you even became a KJ. So that was really nice to even stuff that I didn't know before, even being your friend. So I'm sure the listeners appreciate it. If you guys want to learn more about DJ Purple's show, he does have his own website. We're going to put the link to it.
DJPurple.com.
Yep, and he's got a big songbook up there, and does private shows as well. Plug for private shows, because I know that's where he makes a lot of his bang for his buck. With that, I'm going to wrap it up. We will see you next time, and happy St. Patrick's Day as well. Woo-hoo. See ya.